All right, guys. So today we're going to start to look at what some of these questions could look like on a test or a quiz. So I have five sample questions, kind of things that we've talked over the last week or so. You're going to try them with me right now for kind of a practice attempt. That'll be the first link on the calendar. You're going to try five more on your own. That extra five, the next five, you will not have help with. Okay, you can use this video to try to help you, but I'm not going to be going over those. They will be graded for correctness. Okay, it is a try it on your own. I'll give you more than one attempt if you want though. All right, so here we go. First question, okay, classic word problem. You're going to have to use Desmos. If you don't have Desmos open, make sure you're clicking the calculator button on the pair assessment. Okay, we got to start with X and Y per the usual, okay? And we are looking for two numbers. So let's say that X is our first number, okay? Number one, and Y is going to be our number two, okay? We have two pieces of information. We know that the sum is 275 and the difference is 59. When we go to make our two equations, we will say one of them is the sum and one of them is the difference. Okay. As we keep on trucking along, okay, when we say sum, that should clue us into some sort of addition. And we know that it is going to equal 275. And when we see difference, that should clue us into subtraction. And it says it will equal 59. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to take your two numbers. We don't know what our two numbers are, but we know that they are represented by X and Y. So we're just going to say X and Y for both of these. Now, this has been, for the most part, where we've been stopping, but we need to actually go ahead and find the numbers. That's what will go in these boxes. So to do that, okay, you're going to have to use Desmos a little bit. So we're going to open up Desmos, okay, and we are going to type in these two equations. So equation one and equation two. Okay, go ahead and do that. I'll do it with you. There we go. All right, two equations typed in. I don't see anything, but I know that they should be here somewhere. So I'm going to zoom out a lot and boom, I find my two lines. Okay. Again, double check, make sure that you have typed them in exactly how we did or how we wrote them down, excuse me. And you might have to zoom out, find your two lines, and that's where they cross. Okay. Your answer is just going to be one number, which is 167, and our second number, which is 108. Okay. So again, do not overcomplicate it. You're gonna have to use your Desmos a little bit. Okay. This should be relatively doable. Two equations based on the two pieces of information it tells us. Okay. Here we go. Next. Okay. It asks us about this theater that's selling tickets for a concert, and it's asking us to find our adult and our children tickets. Pretty easy. It tells us right away that's what X and Y need to be. So let's say X is going to be adults tickets. Y is going to be children tickets. Okay. Looking at this, we have to make some connections between to the numbers. So I see 650, I see 350, right? And those are both money. And I see one more thing that has to do with money, and that's the 2,881. So I need to do something with the things that all are related to money. So let's say E1 is going to be money, and I'm actually going to change those colors. E1 is about money. And the only other number I see is that 548. And that'll be my E2. And that has to do with number of tickets. Okay, let's deal with my money first. Reading this, I should hopefully be comfortable that this 2,881 is my end amount of money. Okay, so whatever I do, it's going to end up equaling that 2,881. I see 650, and then I got to lock in for a second. Does that have to do with the adults or the children? Okay, this says that adult tickets sell for 650, so I'm going to say 650x. And very similarly, right, we see that 350, and that's going to be 350. Why? Because that is children's tickets. Okay. My second equation. So I've already used 650. I've already used 350. I've already used the 2,881. The only one I haven't used is that 548. Okay. That is the total number of tickets they sold. So we're going to say that that's equals 548. Okay. Now, I don't know how many adults or children tickets. That's what I'm looking for. All I know is that they are X and they are Y. So this is going to be just a classic X plus Y. I then need to go in and actually find this. So again, we're going to go back to Desmos, right? Zoom out to start. Type this in. Okay, so 650 plus 350. Oh, 650x, excuse me, plus 350y equals 2,881. There's one line. My second one, x plus y equals 548. Boom. You should have two lines that cross again. If you are opening Desmos for the first time and you're zoomed in, let's use our brains a little bit. It's not that the lines didn't show up, but when we have these big numbers, it just means that we got to zoom out. Okay, so we zoom out until we find them and we see where they cross. The point that we get is 321, 227. We just have to make sure that we put these in the correct box. We hopefully are okay that our adult tickets were our X value, which means that this is adult, and that our child tickets or our children tickets were our Y value. So this is our children. Okay. Putting those two things together, then we sold 321 adult tickets, 227 children tickets. Again, that should be pretty doable. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. This is very much what we were practicing last Thursday and Friday. You can use this video to help you out for this one. You're going to see one on your real attempt after this that looks pretty similar. Okay. Let's keep it moving. Okay. A new kind of type of question. It tells you two equations, right? Tells you that f of x is the blue cab, tells you that g of x is the yellow cab, and it ultimately asks you how many miles do you need to drive for the cost. So we're looking for a number of miles for the cost of the blue, I should say cab, oops, and the yellow cab to be the same. Okay? So we're looking for these to be the same. We're looking for miles. I am seeing a point where these are the same, right? Right here. Okay. And we just have to pick out the number of miles that is related to that point. Looking at this, do we see that this, okay, my x-axis has to do with miles. So if I'm looking at my point, that point is 3 comma 8. 3 comma 8. Because you're going over 3 up 8. Okay. If we're looking for miles, we just have to pick out the x value. What this is saying is this would be miles and this would be cost. Okay, because cost is on my y-axis. So all we got to do is we got to take the x value, which is 3. That will be the number of miles it takes for these two to be the same. Okay, You just say 3. Okay, these last two should be pretty easy, right? Choose all solutions of the following system of linear inequalities listed below, right? We've talked about this. You need your answers to be in the shaded area where they both overlap. So not in the red up here, not in the blue down here. You need it to be in this overlapping green area. This should be pretty easy. You could use Desmos for this. I don't think you need to. I think you guys are better than that. Let's start to look at these points. Okay, so 0, -1. That puts me right here. Okay. We've talked about, is it okay for us to be on a dotted line? No, you cannot be on a dotted line. So no dotted, 0, -1 is out. Okay, 6, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 2. We are right there. Yes, absolutely. I'll turn it green. Okay, that is pretty clearly in that overlapping shaded area. Okay, this one is good. Let's try 9, 9. That puts us up here. I know this picture is not the best, but yeah, this would be on the solid line there. Yes, you can have on a solid line. Yes, solid. This one will play. 8, 2, right here. Pretty clear. -2, 4 is up here in this red area. No good. Okay. Our last one that it gives us is 2, 6, 2, 6 would be right here. That is no good either. Okay, so your three answers are going to be 6, 2, 9, 9, and 8, 2. And again, our goal is for it to be in the overlapping shaded area. That is this kind of purple-ish area. It is allowed to be on the solid line. It is not allowed to be on the dotted line below. Okay. And last but not least, this is probably the easiest question. All you are doing is you're saying which one of these is going to match up with this graph. I could give you the long-winded explanation, or I could tell you just plug these into Desmos. Let's be smart for a second, though. Okay. If I look at this, we see a solid line. That solid line means that our answer has to either be this or be this. It has to have that line underneath if we have a solid line. So if we're just going to cheat and use Desmos, that's totally cool, but do not try A or C because they will both give you dotted lines. Okay, and dotted would be this or this. Okay, type those in, see which one works. I'll give you a second to do that as I open up Desmos. Okay, open up Desmos. I'm going to type in the top one. Okay, so Y, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Obviously, I'm quite a ways zoomed out. If you ignore the color for a second, okay, if you want, I can change it to red if you guys are going to be drama queens about it. Does this look remotely like that graph? No. The main thing that's throwing me off is this one is shaded above, but the one on my Desmos is shaded below. Okay, so that's a problem. Let's tweak it a little bit. Let's make sure. Let's try our last option. Make it negative and flip that sign around. Okay, this one's a little bit better. Okay, that looks pretty similar, right? If I zoom in a little bit more, you can hopefully believe that those are supposed to be the same. And again, okay, this one is shaded above like this graph right here. Okay, that should tell us that our answer will be D. Okay, so again, you're going to try 5 more questions that are just like this. Okay, I want you to complete this first attempt of examples. If you complete it, I'll give you full credit, regardless of your score. You then are going to try 5 on your own that are very similar. You can use this as reference if you want. I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.